has been packed with unforgettable moments. But it turned out the real stars of the show were the royal children. From Prince Louis's balcony antics.
According to reports, Prince William and Kate Middleton are devastated by the sudden change in their son, Prince Louis. Although the specifics of the change are still unknown, the royal family has already been significantly impacted. Come along as we explore the story in greater detail and reveal the real reason for Prince Louis's surprising metamorphosis. The playful prince. In the past, Prince Louis was the more playful of his siblings, playing tricks and running around rather than taking after his more somber siblings. Nevertheless, his parents are upset about a discernible change in him. On April 23, 2018, Louis was born, and the world excitedly awaited the arrival of another royal child. As with his older brother and sister, he was born at London's St. Mary's Hospital. Expecting him to blend in with the royal family's image, his parents proudly presented him to the world. However, Louis showed an unconventional rebellious spirit right from the start. George and Charlotte were obedient and confident, but Louis added a new dimension of energy and individuality. Photographers found it difficult to capture the ideal family moments with Louis when she was a small child. Louis was being playful and carefree, while his siblings were posing flawlessly. Formal events became his playground because he had no desire to remain motionless. Although his parents secretly battled to strike a balance between his free spirit and royal expectations, the public adored his personality. Louis gained notoriety for his mischievous behavior, particularly during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations when his playful antics stole the show. Louis amused everyone with his antics, which made internet viewers laugh while the rest of the family remained royal. Although they valued his lively personality, his parents were concerned about how he would manage the demands of life as a royal. As Louis began to gradually change, an unexpected shift started to take place. He became more patient when posing for pictures and showed fewer tantrums. The once restless child now seemed more composed when making public appearances. These changes shocked Prince William and Kate, who saw that Louis, who had previously been erratic, was now acting like a true royal. The change was not restricted to public gatherings. It also affected Louis's conduct at home. He was still playful and inquisitive, but his energy had clearly changed. It appeared that the disorderly presence that had once ruled their home had subsided. Kate realized she might have taken the moments when Louis ran around the gardens for granted, as she found herself thinking back on them. Though he experienced the effects as well, William reassured her that this change was a normal aspect of growing up. It seemed that the days of running after their youngest, as he laughed through the palace corridors, were coming to an end. What might have caused this? Let's pause for a moment to consider Prince Louis's mindset prior to his change. Prince Louis's public action. Louis provides an insight into the royal family, portraying them as a vibrant and close-knit community that shares humor, happy times, and the difficulties of parenthood. His well-known microphone incident brings back memories of his actions during the Platinum Jubilee, when his frank conversations with family members and animated reaction to the fly past attracted a lot of attention. Standing on the balcony, he represented unbridled youth, responding dramatically to the roaring jets by shielding his ears, huddled on his grandfather's lap, and displaying a range of emotions from awe to irritation. Louis's actions were intended to add excitement and joy to a formal setting rather than overshadow the event. These incidents have provided insight into the royal family's public image management. Maintaining royal traditions while letting their kids show off their individuality has been expertly balanced by Prince William and Princess Kate. The tactful manner in which Louis is led during public appearances, without reprimanding or stifling his excitement, reflects a parenting approach that respects individuality while acknowledging the significance of their royal duties. This harmony gives the family a relatable and contemporary image while preserving their dignity. The monarchy's flexibility is demonstrated by Queen Camilla's response to Louis's impulsive behavior. Her response, which skillfully combined elegance, humor, and tolerance, showed how the establishment can accept uncertainty while remaining composed. Rather than dismissing it, she welcomed its allure, alleviating any possible unease and contributing to the royal family's evolving image. Camilla's identity as queen consort has been shaped by her ability to balance tradition with modern norms. The importance of these examples goes beyond simple amusement. They act as a reminder that, despite the influence of long-standing traditions and laws, the monarchy is made up of real people. When Louis exhibits his playful side, onlookers see more than just a young royal. They understand the true nature of childhood, which is full of curiosity, happiness, and contentment that appeals to all people, regardless of status. This engagement with the populace is essential to preserving the monarchy's reverence and importance, especially in an era of swift transformation. At the same time, these light-hearted moments counterbalance the seriousness of royal duties. They show that even with the value ascribed to tradition, humor and real feelings can still be present. Louis's upbeat demeanor did not take away from the event's main themes, which were charity and solidarity. Instead, they made them better by emphasizing the little joys that bring people together. His behavior is the ideal representation of the festive mood of the event. These incidents are expected to have a bigger effect on public opinion as the royal family adjusts to the shifting circumstances of the 21st century. They now offer a contemporary take on the monarchy's traditional persona, showcasing their friendliness and warmth. Known for his vivacious personality, Louis has become a pivotal figure in this change, demonstrating that even well-established institutions can embrace happiness. The free-spirited Prince Louis. Because of his charming smile, modest manner, and strong bond with supporters, Prince Louis is becoming more and more well-liked within the royal family. The son of Princess Catherine and Prince William frequently attends royal events. At present, he is fourth in line to the British throne, after Prince William, Prince George, and Princess Charlotte, and he is starting to understand the significance of his role. At a particular summer trooping the color ceremony, Louis dazzled everyone with his poise, wearing a jacket and tie like the adult royals, demonstrating a maturity beyond his years. But his most memorable moment was when he carried himself with extraordinary poise at the coronation of his grandfather, King Charles III. This has raised rumors that Louis might take on more important roles at future royal events, suggesting that he might follow in his older brother George's footsteps. It is important to keep in mind that Louis is only a 5-year-old boy who occasionally displays his playful side at formal events, despite his royal status and future obligations. He has become well known for his humorous approach to interacting with the audience, which includes making goofy faces and trying out different greetings. But he finds it difficult to sit through long church services, which is understandable given that even King Charles did the same when he was younger. Some of the videos of Queen Elizabeth's second coronation show His Majesty's face looking sad, suggesting that he and his sister Princess Anne had similar moments of dissatisfaction. Many bystanders can identify this exchange because some have likened Louis to a younger king. They have a strong bond and even have the same name, Louis Arthur Charles, so their connection goes beyond simple physical similarity. The two frequently seize opportunities to hug or talk. For instance, when Louis was upset during Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, he would turn to his beloved grandfather for solace, and the two of them thoroughly enjoyed the concert. However, that wasn't the only enjoyable part of the event. Young Louis's hilarious antics delighted the audience. It was debatable whether the actions of a child of his age were appropriate, particularly when he appeared to be acting unruly while being watched over by Catherine, who was regarded as an authority figure. Catherine, however, responds to these situations with optimism. She takes care of Prince Louis, reading to him when the big concert doesn't hold his attention, and providing him with extra pillows for comfort. In addition, Louis can always count on his older sibling to help. Have you ever wondered why, as a charming child, he radiates happiness and a carefree attitude? Relationship between Prince Louis and his extended family. As a respite from his royal upbringing, Louis loves to spend time with his maternal grandparents, Carol and Michael Middleton. Louis is free to be carefree and savor the small joys of childhood in their Berkshire home's relaxed atmosphere. Carol fosters Louis's imagination by involving him in enjoyable crafts and baking activities. Louis feels secure and stable because of Michael's cool, collected manner. King Charles III was able to strike a balance between his royal responsibilities and his youthful spirit by spending quiet time with his grandfather and taking leisurely walks in the outdoors. Charles makes time for his grandchildren, especially the animated and vivacious Louis, despite his hectic schedule. Their discussions frequently touch on the king's abiding passion for the natural world and dedication to environmental preservation. They plant trees together, talk about the value of preserving the environment, and exchange gardening stories. The experiences Louis shares with his family have a profound effect on him. They combine fun times with valuable lessons, strengthening their relationship. In the family, Princess Charlotte has taken on the role of Louis's mentor with ease. Charlotte, who is only 8 years old, exhibits a remarkable ability to strike a balance between her innocence as a child and the responsibilities of being an older sibling. When she gracefully channels Louis's lively personality during public appearances, her calm and caring demeanor is evident. Charlotte's support of her younger brother during Kate Middleton's Christmas Carol service was a touching moment that boosted his confidence throughout the evening. Charlotte showed the poise of a loving sister by responding elegantly and shrewdly to Louis's playful attempt to extinguish her candle. Their close relationship dates back to Louis's formative years. A heartwarming photo of Charlotte on her third birthday depicts her holding baby Louis tenderly, signifying the unwavering love she has had for him since the beginning. Their bond has developed into a vibrant friendship over time, full of joy, laughter, and cherished memories. Louis's enthusiastic support and Charlotte's innate leadership abilities combine to form a solid bond that gets stronger every day. Prince George has a more laid-back and enjoyable relationship with Louis while Charlotte provides direction. George, who is only 10 years old, accepts his position as the older brother with a mix of love and lighthearted humor. The once annoying relationship between two brothers has developed into a close, enjoyable friendship based on common experiences. By bringing out the best in one another through harmless pranks and late-night snacks, George and Louis create enduring memories that deepen their sibling bond. During Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebration, Louis's vivacious behavior enthralled the audience, and George kept a close eye on things to make sure nothing untoward happened. These incidents emphasize George's increasing responsibilities and the delight he derives from his brother's exuberance. Beyond family get-togethers, Louis's boundless energy is demonstrated by his recent interest in drumming. To Prince William's delight, his drum kit's upbeat beats create a happy ambiance in their house. Imagine Louis playing joyfully while Charlotte watches with a mixture of admiration and annoyance, and George keeping a straight face but secretly wishing he could join in. The three siblings are a close-knit unit that constantly supports and pushes one another. What then has changed with Prince Louis? Watch this space to find out. Prince Louis's behavior changed. Instead of providing relief, the change that was supposed to demonstrate their son's development felt like a loss. The shift came sooner than expected, but they had prepared him for his future obligations. Why this change? Had the rigors of royal life finally caught up with him, or had he grown up and abandoned his reckless ways? Did it come naturally to him, or had he become conscious of how people saw him and decided to change? The public began to notice the change as well. The child who had been so animated now seemed more reserved. Did this indicate a more serious problem, or was it merely a phase? There was speculation as to whether he had received instructions to behave differently or a warning that his prior behavior was no longer acceptable. Was giving up one's individuality for duty the inevitable result of growing up in royalty? Known for being an active parent, Kate found this change difficult. She had always supported a happy and free childhood, striking a balance between her royal duties and the joys of youth. And now she saw one of her kids fitting into the very pattern she had tried to avoid. William was conflicted as well. He knew how important it was to discipline his son, but at what price? Was he genuinely growing up, or was he becoming less distinctive? Every child changes. Every child experiences transformations. However, there is more significance to this transformation for a royal child. Although his journey was certain to be remarkable, everyone was taken aback by how suddenly things changed. In order to help their son maintain his identity while living up to the expectations placed on him, his parents, who had long walked a tightrope between tradition and advancement, are now facing their greatest challenge to date. The vivacious boy who had once made royal parties lively was now entering a new stage, a world that seemed uncannily silent, the year that changed everything. The reality behind the opulent palaces and formal events unfolds like anywhere else, despite the fact that life within the royal confines may appear to be perfect. In 2020, think about the Cambridge family. Grand royal engagements were postponed while they were stranded at Anmer Hall, caught in the chaos of a world that had abruptly changed. Following the cancellation of the formal appearances, Prince William, Kate, and their kids had to deal with the sudden silence of loneliness. But despite the stress in the world, William and Kate found happiness in their youngest child, who added chaos and vitality to their days at Anmer. Leaving behind schedules for sticky hands, strewn toys, and endless outdoor adventures with their youngest child, the shift from their royal duties to full-time parenting was difficult. Unaware of the gravity of the situation, the youngest family member welcomed every moment as an exciting adventure despite the global crisis. His wild and playful energy transformed video calls into boisterous playgrounds of laughter, while his older siblings adapted to the new normal with restraint. The family came together to show their gratitude for healthcare professionals during the Clap for Carers campaign, and their youngest son stole the show with his contagious enthusiasm and sincere demeanor. The family enjoyed the outdoors at Anmer Hall despite the chaos he brought, going on bug-chasing and leaf-collecting excursions under the guidance of the youngest adventurer. The youngest child added pure childhood joy to their dynamic, constantly pushing limits and defying expectations, while George assumed the role of the responsible older sibling and Charlotte relished the adventures. During the pandemic, Kate took candid, untidy pictures of the family's modest celebration of Louis's second birthday, which struck a deep chord with the public. Louis served as a reminder of the passing of time and the transient nature of childhood by bringing chaos and laughter into their home. Those who followed the royal family were deeply impacted by Louis's lively personality and knack for stealing the show, even though he made few public appearances. Nonetheless, some royal fans often compare him to his free-spirited grandmother Diana when he was growing up. With 2020 drawing to a close, the world was slowly adjusting to a new normal, which the Cambridge family was also going through. Although the return to royal responsibilities was unavoidable, William and Kate had benefited greatly from the unplanned time spent with their children, a unique opportunity to simply enjoy their family life, free from criticism and demands. By the summer of 2022, everyone was preparing for something special. Given that the Queen had ruled for an astounding 70 years, her Platinum Jubilee was sure to be a spectacular occasion. As usual, the royal family was the center of attention, waving to the excited crowds below from the grand balcony of Buckingham Palace. George and Charlotte exemplified royal elegance with their impeccable manners and sophistication. However, Louis was the one who stole the show once more. Louis's impromptu performance took everyone by surprise, in stark contrast to the other family members' elegant and composed waves. He turned the Royal Air Force flypast into an internet sensation with his exaggerated reactions, animated facial expressions, and unbridled joy. Even with the strict framework of royal life, the youngest Cambridge prince showed again that some things, such as a child's boundless energy, could not be controlled. Louis stood between his parents, staring at the jets thundering overhead. His face showed a mix of surprise and unease as he covered his ears with his small hands. In between the otherwise flawless royal appearances, there was an unscripted moment that showed true emotion. As the crowd below focused on their youngest family member, Kate and William exchanged knowing looks. Suddenly, the most talked about part of the Jubilee celebration was a child's simple response. But let's not act like this was just about a cute kid pulling funny faces. Even though everything had been carefully planned and organized, a 4-year-old with his own will could not be controlled by any amount of planning. In an environment full of formalities, his direct answers, exaggerated facial expressions, impatience, and disinterest in lengthy speeches provided a startling touch of authenticity. There was something refreshing about his impulsive actions. The online community enjoyed every second of his natural exuberance, which was unabated by the strict royal protocols. His older siblings were amused when he even stuck out his tongue at one point, because they knew they wouldn't have gotten away with it. Then, as though concluding that he was exempt from the rules, he animatedly conversed with the Queen, his great-grandmother. Cameras recorded every moment, changing the emphasis from a simple royal to a representation of an often overlooked fact. Most importantly, these people are still children. He unexpectedly became a star at the event because of the young prince's defiance of convention, even in the smallest ways. His parents were balancing the responsibilities of their royal roles with the demands of parenthood, while the public marveled at his playful antics behind the scenes. Kate had to strike a careful balance between encouraging her kids to accept their roles and letting them be authentic. She had spent hours educating them about the historical significance of their great-grandmother's long reign in order to get them ready for the Jubilee. But you can only tell a child so much before they become disinterested. No amount of practiced speeches could change the fact that Louis, in particular, had no interest in staying in one place for long. Louis's carefree enjoyment had transformed into something more significant. As he grew older, he realized how much attention was on him. William and Kate acknowledged that raising their young children during important occasions was no easy task, as Prince Louis attracted public attention. They understood that getting ready for royal duties was one thing, but maintaining an active 4-year-old's attention during formal events was quite another. They wondered how much of their youngest son understood as they watched him navigate a world so different from a normal childhood. They realized that his childhood freedom would never be the same, so it was bittersweet to watch him mature into his role. There were a lot of royal appearances and public admiration during the Jubilee weekend. Posts on social media about his boisterous antics were all over. While some mockingly commented on his rebellious nature, others praised him as a breath of fresh air. Internet memes depicted him as a whimsical childhood hero. The royal family, which is frequently criticized for being distant, appeared more approachable all of a sudden. The focus was on a young boy who just wanted to have fun, not on well-rehearsed speeches or fancy clothes. The public's sincere affection and responses were not overlooked. It was proof to Kate and William that spontaneous moments like these were more important than anything else. Instead of being merely royal figures, their children represented actual children growing up in the spotlight. The youngest child was first exposed to the role he would eventually inherit, whether he accepted it or not, at the Jubilee. Life for the Cambridge family returned to normal as the summer came to an end, but something had changed. Once thought of as just the baby, the youngest child suddenly became the center of attention. He had a personality too lively to be ignored, it became clear, and he was keen to leave his mark. Later occasions, such as the family's Christmas walk, brought his metamorphosis to light even more. Rather than merely listening, he boldly interacted with the audience, displaying a fresh understanding of his public persona. The child who had appeared agitated during the Jubilee was not this one. Now he was beginning to understand his public role. Kate was both proud and wistful as she watched her son grow. The youngest child's metamorphosis felt unique, even though George and Charlotte had also experienced this shift from innocence to awareness. Perhaps his lively personality ran counter to the strict royal expectations, or perhaps he was her last child. In any case, he showed flexibility, whether or not his mother was ready for it. His changes were even more noticeable at home. His insatiable energy and curiosity continued, but he discovered new paths to pursue. He enjoyed simple pleasures like climbing trees and interacting with wildlife, spending hours outside exploring the local environment. Unlike his more reserved siblings, his curiosity and fearlessness kept his parents amused and tired. Kate discovered him transforming their table into an art station one wet day. A gleeful smile adorned his face as paint covered his hands, leaving colorful streaks on their surface. He proudly declared his painting to be the greatest in the world when asked about it. Kate understood then that even though he was destined to be a king, he would always have an unadulterated joy that made him unique. His development was about finding his own place in a world that required perfection, not about copying others. Many people liked him because of his unguarded, natural way of expressing himself. The future is uncertain, and he will face difficulties specific to his position as a monarch. One thing is certain, though. Louis will always be loyal to himself, even if efforts are made to shape him in accordance with royal protocol. He was born into one of the most watched families in the world, and he refuses to fit in by being real and true to himself. Not only does he appear to defy expectations, but he has repeatedly demonstrated that he prefers to be authentic. Outburst on Carol Night. On a chilly December evening, Westminster Abbey hosted a carol service and looked enchanting with its Christmas decorations. The British royal family and their guests were taken aback by an unexpected incident that transpired amid the glittering lights. Prince Louis, who is well known for his vivacious personality and upbeat outlook, was instrumental in the surprising incident. Louis proudly held his handmade card in front of a beautifully decorated tree that symbolizes goodwill. In order to encourage kindness and appreciation through handwritten notes, Kate planned an event where a kindness tree was adorned with sincere expressions of gratitude. Kate's parents, Carol and Michael Middleton, are known for being lively and playful grandparents in Berkshire, and Louis wrote a heartfelt note thanking them for spending time playing games with him. Louis delivered his message in a warm and welcoming environment, but when a visitor inquired as to why Queen Camilla was left off of his card, everything changed. She was being dishonest, Louis said bluntly, with the honesty inherent in children. When Louis revealed that Camilla had lied about playing with him, calling him annoying and requesting that he leave, the happy atmosphere swiftly changed. As is common with children, he noticed her loneliness and lack of social interaction and made a perceptive observation. Conversationally chatting with other guests, Kate hurried over to her son. As she whispered softly to Louis, observers noticed a slight change in her usual smile. Prince William nearby looked at Camilla with a mixture of surprise and concern. Camilla maintained her composure in spite of a brief moment of uncertainty. The occasion highlighted the complexity of the royal family's familial ties, particularly between members of different generations. King Charles is regularly seen spending time with his grandchildren, telling them stories and engaging in enjoyable activities at Highgrove House Gardens. However, Camilla's relationship with the Wales children has remained more subdued and distant. Even among royalty, Louis's candid remarks highlight the challenges of bringing families together. George, Charlotte, and Louis, the children of Wales, frequently enjoy spending time with the Middletons during informal family gatherings that involve games and outdoor exploration. The carol service marked a change in the royal family's customary formal and subdued manner. They maintained their composure despite the shifting atmosphere. While a few staff members engaged in private conversations, most visitors ignored the sudden development. The unadulterated feelings and unvarnished facts that emerged in this case were greater than the meticulous planning required for royal events. Rumors then circulated about private family discussions to resolve the issue. Louis' comments highlighted the difficulty the family faces in maintaining a thin line, juggling their public duties with their private lives, and negotiating between traditional royal norms and the complexities of modern family dynamics, even as the palace concentrated on fostering harmony. In addition to showcasing the children's candor, the carol service revealed details about the close ties within the royal family. Although Prince Louis's candid remarks may have made the adults uneasy, they brought to light how complicated and nuanced family ties can be, even in wealthy families. Please click the next video that appears on your screen, like, and subscribe if you liked this one.